Frank, I'll throw it to you first. Who won the trade between the 49ers and the Dolphins?
Initially, I was thinking, hey, I think the 49ers won this just because the 49ers get their quarterback. But after doing the mock off season for the 49ers, I earlier in the draft process, it really felt like they could have got Mac Jones at 12, who I think that they want to get. That's what all the reports have been saying they wanted to get. That's who we took for them in the mock off season. in that mock draft that we did, because we were like, hey, Mac Jones, he's our guy. We think he's the dude that can really lead us in the future. But man, when you put it out like that, the price that the Dolphins got moving back 3 picks is pretty ridiculous. So if there's a winner, I feel like it has to be them because they took the least amount of risk. They're probably going to get the same guy or one of the guys they were considering at 3. They pick up a whole plethora of draft capital. They have a ton of draft capital this year. Jesus Christ. Great deal for the Dolphins.
I was about to say, I think it's a big thing with Miami because I feel, at least my most recent guesses before that trade was that they were going to take Jamar Chase at 3, maybe Pitts, but I think they could still probably get him at 6, and while picking up another first next year. So I really like that trade for the Dolphins. I guess now for them, it's just kind of now it's all on Tua. They have an elite defense. He's going to have weapons now. They already had Devontae Parker. They added Will Fuller. And I'm guessing they're going to add Chase or Pitts at 6, maybe Devontae Smith. And now it's kind of, okay, Tua, no excuses now this year. They're committing to him. They're passing on guys like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones to stick with him. So that's a big decision.
All right, Lounis. On the flip side, the Eagles actually decided to move down, and you're an Eagles fan. What do you think about that trade?
Yes. So my Jamar Chase dreams are over. I have to cancel the customized jersey order. I ordered him in Pitts. No, but I actually like the trade. There's a lot of spots on the roster that need to be filled. When they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, it wasn't a young roster. It was a ton of veterans, ton of older guys. So I don't mind that trade back to 12. And at 12, there's still a good chance that they'll probably grab either one of those top corners, or if somehow Devontae Smith falls, probably Jalen Waddle will be on the board there at 12. So they might be able to pick him up there, which I would be really happy with that pick or any of the top corners. And then they have the potential to have 3 firsts next year. I think now what's just going to be interesting is it's Jalen Hurts really just has a year. They're kind of telling him hey, we might get you Jalen Waddle, maybe not. Rager still might be your one, but you have this 1 year to prove yourself. And if you don't, we have potentially 3 first-rounders next year to trade up for a top QB. So he's going to have to prove himself this year too, and he really only has this one.
All right. And then, so we've got to decide what we think's happening at pick 3, what we think's happening at pick 6, and what we think's happening at pick 12. You guys kind of alluded to it. Frank mentioned that he thinks it's Mac Jones, and that's what a lot of reporters are saying. I'm starting to believe that's 49ers smokescreens. We're in the smokescreens part of the year where NFL teams are trying to bash certain players that they like and trying to hop.
Why smokescreen in that position, though? What are like the Jets and the Jags?
I don't disagree. I honestly don't think that they've necessarily... I think there's a good chance that they might like both guys there, and they might want to watch more tape and then figure it out then. I think JT's right, though. There's no benefit in showing your hand at this point.
Exactly. And not only that, right? I know there's a lot of signs pointing to Zach Wilson going at 2, but I'm not convinced that the Jets don't decide, hey, we're just going to stick with Sam Darnold this year. I don't think it's the right move. But I'm not convinced that that's what they do. They might just move down with the Panthers or the Broncos. So a team that's willing to really spend up and really give it for, I don't know, maybe the Justin Fields or Trey Lance, whoever the 49ers actually want. I don't know. It's just something where NFL teams, they're always trying to one-up each other, so why are they going to tell each other what they're planning to do, just so they get screwed over by one of the other teams?
If the Jets don't take it, we have a draft live stream coming up the night of the draft that we're going to be doing. I will. Trying to think what I would do if the Jets
Put
don't
something
take a
on the
QB.
table.
I will crack 6 eggs on my head if for some
Okay.
reason the Jets decide to stick
All
with
right, I'm
Darnold.
buying eggs.
No, I'll get them. I got eggs.
Oh, you're buying the eggs too. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens if they do draft a quarterback?
Man, I don't know.
You make some omelets, I guess.
I feel like I'm just kind of playing against the house. I'm taking the odds, so I won't make
So-
someone else do something.
One thing I do want to ask you guys though is that it's almost certain now that the Dolphins decided, hey, we're passing up on Penny Sewell, whether they wanted him or not. It's clear. It looks like they're taking a skill player at 6, whether it's Pitts, Chase, Devontae Smith, Waddle, whoever. Where would you rank the Dolphins as a landing spot for a receiver? Top half of the league, bottom half of the league. Do you like that if you're a big Jamar Chase fan? Let's just assume it's Jamar Chase. Yay, nay, medium, it doesn't matter. What's going on there?
It's just it's difficult to
Medium?
say. Yeah, it's difficult to say because I want to compare it to teams that they're around, right? So the Bengals are a potential team that could go out and get Jamar Chase. I mean, I don't really think the Panthers will draft a receiver, but they're another one. The Broncos are also around there. All those kind of teams. I think the Giants are still up there too. So when I look at it in that regard, I would love for Jamar Chase to connect back with Joe Burrow on the Bengals. It does kind of become a crowded receiver room, but I think Jamar is a much more talented wide receiver than Tyler Boyd. So, it'll just be him and T. Higgins run that Cincinnati. Who actually Cincinnati fans hate Frank. Just fun fact.
Yeah, they were not happy
Yeah.
with my Bengals video.
But
It's okay, you have the Cardinals fans.
that's true. Cardinals fans do like us. Shout out Cardinals fans. But, when we're talking about stuff like that, right, and potential quarterbacks in those kind of situations, I think Miami's slightly above average, I would say. I still think Tua's a decent quarterback. I think he just kind of has to put it all together. I think he's got all those, traits. He just has to make it happen on the field and be a little more confident with his throws. So when we're talking like that, I feel like it's a fine place for Jamar Chase to go. I wouldn't be knocking him down my board if he ends up on the Dolphins, if that's what the question is.
I'm not a huge Tua guy. Not that I don't think he can be a starting QB in the NFL, because I think he can for a while. But do I think he's ever going to be kind of like that star level or Pro Bowl level? Personally, no. But here's the thing, though. I feel like we've seen so many times where like there's a receiver who's like, oh, I love him, he's so talented, but then it's like, oh, I hate that landing spot, I'm gonna kind of move away, and then they prove you wrong. They're still like, I'm so good, I'm gonna produce either way. Like we've seen, people were scared about AJ Brown landing in Tennessee because Tennessee's passing game had kind of been ass for a while leading up to that. Obviously, he was still Mariota, but he was even producing with Mariota. People were kind of iffy about the Jefferson landing spot in Minnesota, because they were like, well, Diggs only did this last year, and that's with Thielen being hurt, and Thielen's back, so what can we expect from Jefferson? Jefferson balled out. So I'm not gonna let the situations change it my value of him too much, just because we've seen time and time again, like those talented receivers will still make plays and put up points. So that's why I say neutral, because I'm not like, it doesn't make me gain anything, but I'm not gonna put him down because I just think he's that good.